She will always be remembered as one of the greatest writers to have ever lived. And this day will go down in history as the day the Nazis finally came for her. Hello everyone, my name is Anya, and in this video we're going to take a look at what happened on this day in the year 1944, the arrest of Anne Frank. It started off as a normal day on the 4th of August 1944, or as normal as you could expect during World War II. For Anne Frank and her family, including her father Otto, mother Edith, and sister Margot, it was day 761 in hiding. The Frank family had been in hiding since the 6th of July 1942. Also in hiding with the Frank family were the Van Pel's family, consisting of Herman, Augusta, and their son Peter, as well as family friend and dentist Fritz Pfeffer. These 8 people had been in hiding at 263 Prinsengracht in Amsterdam. They had been hiding in the back rooms of an office building, and their hiding place was concealed with a bookcase. For 2 years, the people in hiding were assisted by Miep Gies, her husband Jan, Bert Voskuil, Victor Kugler, and Johannes Kleiman. These 5 people did their best to provide food and support to those in hiding and gave daily updates as to what was happening in the outside world. For 2 years, the people in hiding in what Anne called the secret annex did their best to remain quiet and followed a daily routine. During her time in hiding, Anne Frank famously wrote her diary, which she had been writing in since her 13th birthday on the 12th of June 1942. It was her dream to have her diary published after the war. For 2 years, the 8 people in hiding did their best to remain quiet and not be found. But on the 4th of August 1944, everything changed forever. At 10:30 a.m., a car pulled up outside 263 Prinsengracht. Inside the car were several Dutch civilian officers, as well as a Gestapo sergeant named Karl Silberbauer. They had received a tip-off that several Jews were in hiding inside the building. The officers bombarded into the office demanding to know where the Jews were being hidden. With no choice, Victor Kugler had to take them upstairs to the bookcase. When the bookcase door was opened, their worst fear came true. Their hiding place had been discovered. The officers ransacked the secret annex, looking for any jewellery and valuables that they had hidden. Looking for a place to put the valuables, Silberbauer grabbed a leather briefcase and emptied its contents. All of Anne's diaries and papers fell to the floor. Using the briefcase, they gathered up all the jewellery and valuables and placed them inside. The 8 people in the secret annex were allowed to pack a small bag before they were escorted outside the building and loaded up into a truck. Victor Kugler and Johannes Kleiman were both arrested and sent to a labour camp for their part in hiding the 8 people in hiding. But they both survived internment and eventually returned to Amsterdam. Miep Gies and Bert Voskuil both escaped arrest, and later that evening they went up to the secret annex. Miep Gies discovered Anne's diaries and papers on the floor. She gathered them up and brought them downstairs to her office, where she locked them inside a drawer, vowing to return them to Anne when she came back. Had it not been for Miep Gies, Anne's diary wouldn't have existed today. As just 1 week after the arrest, the entire secret annex was emptied of its belongings under orders from Nazi law. The 8 people from the secret annex spent 4 days locked in a holding cell before they were deported to Westerbork transit camp in the Netherlands. They spent a month in Westerbork until the 3rd of September 1944, when they, along with 1,000 others, were sent on the last train from Westerbork to Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest death camp in Poland. Of the 8 people from the secret annex who were arrested, Otto Frank was the only one to survive the war. He eventually returned to Amsterdam in May 1945. It would be another few months before he learned the fate of his family. When it became clear that Anne was not coming back, Miep gave her diaries and papers to Otto Frank. After reading them, Otto Frank made it his mission to have his daughter's work published. In 1947, the first edition of the Diary of Anne Frank was published, and since then, it's become one of the most widely read non-fiction books in the world. For the rest of his life, Otto Frank made it his mission to promote his daughter's work and set about educating young people against intolerance and discrimination until his death in 1980. The mystery of who betrayed Anne Frank to the Nazis is one of the most notorious unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Despite multiple investigations and conspiracy theories, their identity remains unknown to this day. The secret annex, where Anne, her family, the Van Pels and Pfeffer hid for 2 years, has since been established as the Anne Frank House. Millions of people travel to this museum to learn more about Anne's story and to learn what life was really like for them in hiding. It goes beyond a doubt that Anne Frank will always be remembered as one of the greatest writers to have ever lived. And the 4th of August 1944 will go down in history as the day the Nazis finally came for her. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. My name is Anya, and we just looked at what happened on this day.